Here we go. Spoiler alert, audience. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. Monday right there. Hello, everybody. Good to be back. Hello. Hello to my mother. Hello to all of you. Happy Monday. Thank you, guys. Good to be back. Thank you. Have a seat. Let's get started. Big show today. Thank you. Have a seat. Thank you very much, Monday. Please save a little bit of that love for my good friend. Say hello to Miss Kendall, everybody. Hello, Kendall.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Morning. I'm doing well. I feel good. I'm good. I'm happy you're back.
Thank you.
I'm always really glad when you're back.
Why?
It's fun. It's fun to do that, but I just love watching you do that.
Oh,
so I just
well,
have fun hanging out.
I want to say thanks to you and Shane and Tommy filled in as well, right?
Yep,
Tom
and
Butler.
Hobie.
And
A
Hobie.
slew of humans.
Yeah. So thanks to you did a wonderful job. Thanks to everyone that filled in. As you guys may or may not know, last week, about a week and a half ago, my stepfather passed away. My mom's husband, Cappy. His full name is Dutch Page Smeal. What a good name. But Captain Dutch, yeah, he had a distinguished career as a captain for over 50 years, and he had a license that he could sail any vessel in the world. And in his obituary that his son wrote, my stepbrother Pete, it was beautiful. He said, Cappy always said, if it floats, he could move it, and he could, yeah. And he was a good man. And last week, thanks to Fox and thanks to My Talk, thanks to Jeff and everybody, all the managers, I was able to go and spend the week with my mom. I'm an only child, as I said. I'm my mom's, as she says, her only baby. And my family's pretty small. I'm lucky that I married into a big family, but it's basically just my mom and me. And I had to be there for my mom. And I got to tell you, leaving her at her house on Friday night was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, saying goodbye to her. But she's going to be good. She had so much strength. I was so proud of her. I kept telling her, in the face of this, they were together for 20-some years, and it's hard, but she was so strong and did so well. And, we had to take care of all that stuff, the stuff that you don't think about, like going to the phone company and doing that and going to the Social Security office. And who ever looks forward to doing that?
No,
you know what I mean? It's not like you wake up going, I can't wait to go to the DMV. You know what I mean? And I mean, no offense to the DMV people, but everybody was so kind to her and so nice to her, from the woman at AT&T, Gina, to the woman at the Social Security office. Everybody was very kind to my mom. And speaking of that brings me to all of you. Right here is just this is a stack of cards and letters that you guys wrote to my mom and to me. And this is just a small chunk of the messages that my mom has received on Facebook. I just want to say, I sent out a tweet at the beginning of the week. I just want to say I will never, ever be able to personally repay all of you and say thank you to all of you. But I just want to say from my heart right here, thank you so much. You brought a smile to my mom's face when it was in short supply last week. I showed her the messages from you all, and it meant a great deal to her. She'll eventually start looking at Facebook again, and I know a lot of you are friends with her on Facebook, and she'll be on there very soon. But the good thing is I learned a lot of lessons during this week, and especially you couple that with the tragic story of Kobe Bryant, which we'll get to momentarily. And I learned this, and it's such a cliche, and probably 3 weeks ago I would have rolled my eyes or patted it on its head like a little puppy. But I just want to remind everybody, if you have something to do, do it. If you want to say something to somebody, say it. And if you're lucky enough to have people in your life that you love, tell them you love them. Don't put stuff off. Don't put stuff off. Go on that trip. Go on that trip, give that hug, make those plans, live life big, because as I've learned too harshly over the last week, it can all just be over like that. And I got to tell you, as I'm sitting here, I promised my mom that she will not have a small life. She had 20-some years with my dad, 20 blessed years with Cappy, and I told her, and now I get her back. And she's going to have a wonderful, she's young, she's 65 years old, and my mom's going to have a great life if it's the last thing I do. So anyway, speaking of which, let's get started. By now, you already know the devastating news in the sports world. Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash in Southern California yesterday. The NBA legend was with his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, and 7 others when the chopper went down. There were sadly no survivors. Kobe, as most of you know, was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. He played a legendary 20 seasons in the NBA, all of them with the LA Lakers. He was a 5-time NBA champion and an 18-time All-Star. After he retired in 2016, he won an Oscar. He won an Oscar for his animated short film, Dear Basketball. Kobe leaves behind his wife and 3 daughters, including a new daughter they just had last summer. He was only 41 years old. The news being felt all over the world, including in LA at the Staples Center, where Kobe built his career. Stephanie Stanton from our sister station is live outside Staples Center, where mourners are paying tribute. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Jason. You know, news of Kobe's passing sent shockwaves around the world, but of course, none of the impact felt as great as right here in the City of Angels. Take a look behind me, what's happening here. I am at LA Live, just outside of Staples Center. This is a memorial that has been set up. It is a cordoned off area, and it is growing by the minute. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of bouquets of flowers here, candles, personal notes, mementos. We are starting to see a growing crowd here as well this morning, people stopping by, taking photos, pausing for a moment to remember Kobe in their own special way. And as you said, Kobe's impact has been so greatly felt here in Los Angeles. 20 seasons with the Lakers, a remarkable career. He led the team to 5 NBA championships, and he inspired so many generations of young boys and girls to pursue careers in basketball. And you know, Jason, Kobe was about to embark and was just starting to embark on his next chapter, if you will. His second act, and he was doing a lot of charitable endeavors. He was also very focused on his family, his wife and 4 daughters. Of course, his daughter Gianna, a rising star in basketball herself, and they were on their way, as you know, to a basketball tournament at the Mamba Sports Academy, which he co-founded, by the way, when that terrible, fatal helicopter crash happened. So that is what is happening here outside the Staples Center. Fans are really just trying to come to grips with this terrible loss. It is still just so shocking, Jason, when you think about the passing of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, Stephanie, there are a lot of unfair parallels, but one that I think you would agree with. Here in Minneapolis, you know, when we learned the passing of Prince, there was an immediate rush to go down to First Avenue in downtown Minneapolis, and the mood was palpable. The sadness was palpable. As you stand there, not just as a reporter, but as someone that lives in LA, you can sense the sadness, can't you?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you can see people just kind of standing shocked. I don't think this has really hit people. It's so hard to process. This is one of those moments, and I've heard other people say this, that you will always remember where you were the moment you heard that Kobe Bryant died. I mean, we all thought it was a hoax initially. I was at the grocery store, of all places. The grocery store clerk was the one that broke the news to me. And it was just immediate shock, immediate disbelief, followed by immediate sadness. And that sadness is palpable. You can feel it in the air. And it's going to continue for days, if not weeks and months, as we go through this process of mourning his loss.
Stephanie, thank you for doing this for us. We don't usually do stuff like this, so we appreciate you taking us there.
Jason.
And say hello to my best friend, the Haley Hurst,
Thanks
back
for
at your
having
station.
me.
Thank you. Thank you.
I will indeed. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, you know, I was thinking about this. I'm not a big sports fan, but I was thinking about why we mourn and we feel so bad about celebrities. You know, there's been celebrities I've mourned. And my friend Phil Mackey, who's a fantastic sports journalist at Score North, he said something today on the radio show that hit me. And he said, it's because these people are in your consciousness for so long. You don't know them, but they're in your consciousness. And what he means by that, it's pretty clear. Like him, you know, people in my generation, or executive producer Jeff, I grew up in the era of Jordan, you know, of Michael Jordan. And I think, and for me, you know, there's a star, like, you know, Oprah or Larry Hagman. They're in your mind every day. So when they're gone, that's why you mourn so heavily. And I think another reason why Kobe is being mourned so heavily. I mean, you saw football players yesterday in a different sport crying. You saw NBA players crying. It's because he was in rarefied air. There are very few, and you know this, you're in the sports world, there are very few athletes that attain that level of stardom where they go by one name. It's Tiger, it's LeBron, it's Jordan. Kobe. That's rare. It's like Halley's Comet. You don't see it often.
Right. Absolutely. I think that one, too, you kind of nailed it on the head. It's when someone who's larger than life all of a sudden isn't here anymore.
Yeah.
It's just shocking to you. No matter if you're a Kobe fan, a sports fan, no matter what, like you said, he's still larger than life. And to see him gone is just so sad. And before we got to take a break, but I also want to acknowledge, of course, Gigi and the 7 others that perished, including, I saw that they're identifying the people now. It's a coach, another mother, a father, a daughter, and his wife was on the plane, the pilot. I don't want those people to be forgotten in the publicity, deserved publicity, spotlight of Kobe. I feel horrible for those families as well. So God bless all involved. We're going to take a break and we'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
More Hot Dish is coming up next. Housewives, huh? A huge shakeup for the Real Housewives franchise. Find out what OGs are saying goodbye to the long-running show. Then, you know I love them, chicken wings. But with so many choices and styles available, who has the best wings around town? Stephanie Hansen has her list. And Ted has a summer strategy to attract the ladies.
That's better.
He's setting sail. Kinda. You're invited as he shops for his love boat. That's still ahead. Stay right there.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Well, like I said, you know, we don't usually go real sad or real deep on anything, but today's just a different day. We continue talking about yesterday's tragic news about NBA legend Kobe Bryant. For that, we turn to the folks who broke the story. Welcome Michael Babcock from TMZ Sports. Hi, Michael.
Good morning, Jason. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let's start with this. What do we know? Look, I'm looking at the clock here. About 24 hours later, what's the latest?
Yeah, it's still hard to comprehend, but what we know is about 9:05 yesterday, Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and 7 other passengers departed from Orange County, California, where Kobe lives in Newport Beach, and they traveled north. They were on their way to the Mamba Academy, which is a gym that Kobe Bryant owns. They were going to be playing a basketball game. Somewhere along their travel, they encountered a very heavy fog. It was a very foggy day in Los Angeles, so much so that LAPD had actually grounded all their helicopters, so they were not flying. The weather was so severe, but the helicopter encountered the fog. They circled for about 15 minutes before continuing trying to reach the gym. They were flying low. They were flying at about 1,200 feet. There came a point where they rapidly ascended to about 2,000 feet. It still was not high enough, though, because only seconds later is when they impacted the side of the mountain. Creating a fiery blaze. First responders were called very quickly. In fact, the moment that the helicopter crashed is when the 911 call started to flood in, and that's when over 50 firefighters tried to make their way to the wreckage, but steep terrain, so it was a little bit difficult to get to where the crash had actually occurred. And unfortunately, by the time the firefighters did arrive, everyone on board had perished.
Hey, Michael, can I ask you something? It's stepping out of your professional role for just a second. I mean, I would assume you work in TMZ Sports. You're also a fan. You're probably a fan of Kobe. What was it like in the newsroom? I mean, you got a job to do. You have to do it. But just as a fan, someone that lives in L.A., what was it like there when the news was trickling in?
Yeah, I think Kobe's death has affected the entire world. Basketball was such a global game, but I think here in Los Angeles, it's hard to describe how loved Kobe Bryant was. So just the entire city just seems to sort of have stopped since yesterday, and this is all everybody's talking about. And even in this newsroom, you have people in here who are mostly from Los Angeles and who grew up watching Kobe Bryant for a good part of their lives, and everybody's just devastated. It feels like a bad dream, and you know, not to be cliche, but you hope you wake up and find out that it's not true. But it's hard to comprehend that Kobe Bryant is gone and that he died in such a tragic fashion. Absolutely.
Michael, thank you for doing this today. I greatly appreciate it. Michael from TMZ Sports.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. There's a really good, to wrap this up, there's a really great, if you want to read a really great profile of Kobe, there's a really honest, respectful one in The Daily Beast. It talks about his triumphs on the court and also talks about the complicated legacy that he leaves off the court. And obviously there's a lot to talk about. In my opinion, today's not the day, out of respect for those he left behind, to delve into his biography deeper than we are right now. It's not trying to paint him to be a perfect person, but there's another day for that. Right. And in my opinion, today's not the day to do that. But he does leave a complicated legacy off the court. Yeah, anyway, you can read that in the Daily Beast. It's beautifully written. Shifting gears, the other big story last night, thank you. Yeah. I feel like we should have intern Kenny come over here and dance or something, just to do a transition or something to liven up the party. I told the audience, look at him here. I feel like I told the audience, they didn't know they were getting tickets to the SAD show, you know. So we're gonna go. I'm taking them to Ponderosa as soon as we're gonna go to the Ponderosa Steakhouse. Don't worry about it, Kendall. Okay. It closed years ago. Anyway, shifting gears. So the other big story were the Grammys. Don't know if you heard. They were last night. Yeah. Did you watch?
I watched Lizzo and then I went night-night.
Okay, perfect. That's what I did too. One of Minnesota's favorite artists, Lizzo, cashed in on her successful year. Look at this.
Lizzo!
Yeah, Lizzo. An audience, this is the only clip we can show unless we have $15 million. So this is it. You're looking at the only clip we can afford. Lizzo won a total of 3 Grammys, including Best Urban Contemporary Album, Best Pop Solo Performance, and Best Traditional R&B Performance. Fantastic. I will tell you, though, I expected a few of the awards Billie Eilish won. I kind of thought maybe Lizzo would win those. Taking nothing, no. I wanted Lizzo to need like a Cub Food shopping cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because she would get one and she'd be like pushing that cart.
Yeah, I wanted her to have somebody like an intern Kenny to have to wheel her stuff home. But yeah, speaking of Billie Eilish, 18. Let's just, as my best friend Jen would say, I just need us all to understand, Billie Eilish is only 18 years old, and she was the other big winner, sweeping the 4 major categories, including album, song, record, and new artist of the year, becoming the youngest artist to win all 4. Yeah, all 4. It was her night. Other moments from the evening that people are talking about include the performances by Aerosmith. Ooh, Lord child. Ooh. I love you, Steven Tyler, but okay. Camila Cabello and Demi Lovato. Again, I would love to show you that, but we would have to get rid of producer Ted. We'd have to,
And America loves him.
America loves Ted. We need the dollars for Ted.
We do.
It was a tough choice, though. Pay for the Demi Lovato clip, Ted's vacation. Whatever, yeah. There's Ted right there! Whatever.
Thank God.
I didn't need the visual reminder. I know that people love the TED.
So one thing I love about Billie Eilish, not only do you forget how young she is, but also she's talked a little bit about why she sort of disguises herself, Sia-like, you know? She said, I don't want people to know exactly what I look like underneath all my baggy clothing. I don't want them to think about my hair color or what I did or didn't do. I like that I'm kind of a mystery and I'm a little goofy and you just listen to my music.
Yeah, I like that.
It's cool.
And we can also talk about, and I want to know what you guys think on the social media, because I heard it was mixed, the mixed reaction. Usher's Prince tribute. Did you like it? I don't know. Stephanie Hansen, who's coming up later, really loved it, and she's a diehard Prince fan. I looked on the USA Today, and nationally, the reviews were very mixed. Some people, I don't know. I love Usher, but I don't know. I'm not the best judge because I am not, like Hansen, I'm not a giant Prince fan. So I love him. Don't write me, but I don't need the emails today. I got to go through these yet. I mean, I don't need, Next in the dish, Saturday Night Live returned over the weekend. Adam Driver was the host, and the show did, this is so good. The show, SNL did a spoof of the uber popular Netflix show, which I watched, we're going to talk about later this week, Cheer. Look at this.
Okay, y'all, circle up. We are 10 days out from the national cheerleading competition in Daytona.
And we know y'all are shook because a lot of this team is getting injured.
Okay, we throw people high in the air, and sometimes we drop them.
And it's especially scary because of what happened to Tara. But we are working on getting her down. Mac, you're back from the hospital.
Fine.
What happened?
Fine. I landed on my head yesterday, and I got stuck in my neck.
Okay, Mac, we are 2 days out from Tona. Can you be on Matt?
No.
Okay, team, you know what that means.
I'm on Matt.
No, Cooper, you're not on Matt.
Understood. Good. And absolutely, do let me know what I can do to improve every day.
Okay, if you haven't watched Cheer on Netflix, producer Jeff was telling me I need to watch. I watched it. I needed something to make me. We watched it last night. I am hooked. It's about this professional cheerleading squad. And what is it, Jeff? Southern Texas? Is it Southern Tech? Yeah.
Who?
Rural. I can say it now. Rural Texas. And this group is legendary. Like they win all these championships. And my favorite part of this episode was the camera crew went around to the locals. Like they went into this gun shop where these good old boys were like cleaning their guns. And the interviewer goes, "Are you aware that there's a world famous cheer championship team in your town?" And the guy goes, "No." It was great. No. I'm not. Right down there.
No. Shane loves that show too.
Shane does?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week, and she was like, "You have to watch it."
Yeah, it's called Cheer, everybody, on Netflix. Halsey was a musical guest, by the way. Next week, football player J.J. Watt will host SNL, so that's going to be good. Still ahead, everybody. The Super Bowl is quickly approaching. I can't believe that. And that means a lot of chicken wings. Stephanie Hansen joins us with her picks of the best. And then producer Ted's quest for love takes them to the Minneapolis boat show. But can he find a vessel that'll win over the ladies? And did we actually buy a boat? You'll find out when we return. Back after this. We bought a boat, Fox. Welcome back. The topic near and dear to my heart.
Oh, yes.
I love this topic. The Super Bowl is less than a week away, and that means orders for chicken wings are about to go way up. Here with some of her favorite places to get chicken wings, the host of the Weekly Dish on My Talk 107.1, and our good friend. Give it up for Stephanie Hansen.
Hey.
Hi, Sweetie. Welcome back.
Thank you. Welcome back to you.
Thank you. We're not going to get into it today. Maybe at another time. Stephanie was on a boat with her husband for 10 days. You deserve a round of applause for that. Yeah. Okay, you know this. I love a good chicken wing. This is near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
I have questions.
I know.
I'm going to be interested in your list. These are your top chicken wing choices.
Yes, and wings are very personal. It's like asking someone what's their favorite pizza, because you have different kinds of pizza you like at different times. And I will say, just off the bat, I love serums. You love serums. I didn't put them on the list because I know you talk about them a lot.
Yes.
So I thought, let's just broaden our horizons
That's
a little
fine.
bit.
I do. I should own, if Gary Serum is watching, I should own half of that restaurant. I really should.
And it's delicious and great.
Is.
And they have wonderful wings, as does the D Spot in Oakdale. But I've personally never been there. So I don't want to recommend something that I haven't had.
So, number 1, Shamrocks and the Nook in St. Paul.
Yeah, 2 restaurants in St. Paul, but they basically have the same menu. They were voted best wings by Minneapolis St. Paul magazine a while ago. You can get 8, 10, or 12, or 8, 12, or 20. They have a dry rubbed wing there that's called the Minnesota Wild Wing. And it's dry rubbed, but then it's got like a little glaze. So it's kind of sweet, but spicy.
Okay.
It's one of my favorite wings in the Twin Cities, and it's very different than what you'd find at other places.
So it's a dry rub, but with a little kick to it.
Yeah, it is a little bit spicy, but it's also got this little bit of glazy.
But not too messy, because I don't want real messy.
No,
Okay.
not like, and they have good buffalo wings there too, but not like where you're like, no, not like that. That was, sometimes when you eat wings with people, you gross out.
Those are in St. Paul. Next, Red Cow.
Okay, very dry rubbed wing. What they do though, and it's so simple, is they just give it a little zhuzh with the microplane of lemon zest. So when you're eating it, it's sort of lemony, but it's not too lemony, and it just tastes super fresh.
Because when you think of Red Cow, you think of burgers,
That's
obviously,
right.
but
their wings are fantastic.
Okay.
And you can get a boneless wing. If you don't like the bones, some people freak out about the bones. I personally like, are you a flat or a drummy?
I do not discriminate.
Okay.
Now, I will eat the drummies. My father-in-law, Colin gets mad at him. He goes through and grabs all of the wings and leaves the drummies.
All the flats, yep.
Yeah, yep. So you call them flats? I like
Flats,
that. Okay.
yep.
Lat 14.
Okay, these are my top 2. Like, I just love these wings so much. They are fried in this delicious Beijing kind of spice. And then they have Thai basil that's in there too. These just are delicious, dry, spiced, fabulous wings.
I think I was with you.
Yeah,
the first time you had them. Yeah.
And everyone said they were good, and I was like, I'll be the judge of that. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lat 14, Golden Valley.
And Jason Show watchers, Lat 14 is the place that I said has the best fried rice I've ever eaten. It's the same place, Lat 14. Yeah.
And I would actually drive just to Golden Valley from St. Paul for these wings.
And I would do the same for the fried rice, yeah. Okay, let's go back to Minneapolis, Bull's Horn.
Bull's Horn is a total dive bar, but they make really great wings, and they have good chicken. They're tender. They're like the perfectly executed dive bar wing.
Okay.
They're also a good value. You get a plate of 8 wings for $7.50. So if that's important to you, you can add fries for an additional $2. This is owned by Doug Flicker and his wife. He was a famous fancy chef who decided to buy this sort of dive bar, and they just do really great bar food.
I love when people do that.
Yeah.
Let's go to the suburbs, Doolittle's.
Okay, Kendall loves these wings, and I'm so glad. Doolittle's in Eagan, Golden Valley, and they have one in Alexandria. They're smoked. So they're drier, and they're smoked. So you get like a smoky flavor, and they come with the homemade blue cheese there that's really delicious. I just love a smoked, really tender wing. It falls off the bone.
I'm going to have to try these because I'm not a big smoky fan.
It's very subtle.
Okay.
It's very subtle. They're almost like rotisserie smoked.
And Kendall loves them?
Yeah.
Okay.
She actually was like,
maybe I'll take the audience to there. We'll go after, since they're at the sad show. Famous Dave's.
Another
really?
smoked wing. And I will order these there instead of the ribs. They have a lot of locations around the Twin Cities. You can get them with the different sauces. I like the Rich and Sassy, which is their basic, full of sugar, lowbrow barbecue sauce. It's delicious. And they're smoked, and then they shellac them with the sauce.
It's called the Rich and Sassy?
Rich and Sassy sauce.
That's what I call you too sometimes.
Rich and Sassy,
Rich and
I
Sassy.
wish.
That's right. Okay.
I'm just poor and sassy.
Now, this next one, other than serums, I would sell a relative for these. Yeah.
Yeah, these are
Monte Carlo in Minneapolis.
Monte Carlo, Minnesota.
Yeah, audience. Yes.
It's a bar that's been there for a long time. It's kind of upscale looking inside. They have a beautiful
Don't let that scare you. Yeah.
No, you get a basket, a literal basket, and there are these dry rubbed wings in there. They call them Beijing spice. They have cinnamon, paprika. They're spicy, but not too spicy. They're meaty. You get a side of fries with that and a martini, and honestly, that is your Friday night.
Yeah, it is really. No, you're right. And don't let the upscale. I live right by there.
No,
I go in there in pajamas. I mean, it's fine. Yeah,
but it feels a little. It feels nice. Like it's a little more than a dive bar.
And
you
the
know?
staff is amazing. Okay, Bunny's Bar and Grill.
Bunny's Northeast and Bunny's St. Louis Park. There was a guy in town who had this wing seasoning called the King of Wings. And he would put these wings together with butter and seasoning, and he'd put them in a paper bag, and he'd drive them from bar to bar in the 70s. Okay? He was the King of Wings. This guy that I actually met in an Uber car, he re-engineered the spice mix with some of the family of the King's Wings guys, and they're making them now. You can buy the seasoning, and you can find them at Bunny's, both locations. It's delicious. It's just like this delicious seasoning. It's got thyme, it's got curry, a little red pepper. They're delicious wings, and they're just a different kind of seasoning, and they're very reminiscent of North Minneapolis King's Wings.
There we go. There's her list. Now we have more with Stephanie Hansen. She's answering your dining questions, and y'all have great questions this morning. We'll answer those when we come back. Back after this. That's a good list. Welcome back. Hansen's here, everybody.
Look at the prompter says.
What?
Look at the prompter.
I know. We're back with Stephanie Hansen, and she's ready to answer your food and dining questions that you posted on the Jason Show Facebook page. First up, it's Karen. Hello, Karen. She says, hey, I'm not a foodie, but enjoy a nice dinner out. I am often confused by fancy sauces, ingredients, etc. that describes dishes, but I'm embarrassed to ask about them for fear of looking stupid. How can I feel more comfortable when making my choice? I think, first of all, Karen, I love this question because I think Karen represents a lot of people watching, that people feel intimidated.
Yeah, and I did too, actually, for the longest time. If you have a sincere desire to learn about these things, I would say the best thing you can do is subscribe to like Bon Appetit. And just read the articles. They talk about what's in these sauces, how to make these things. There's also a great book that is called Ratio by this guy named Michael Ruhlman.
Okay, Ratio.
And what he does is he's just like, you can make all of the dishes in the world by knowing like 20 skills and ingredients. So he really breaks it down. It's super simple. It's a very basic primer on food.
Now, even if she doesn't want to read the book or subscribe to Bon Appetit, I feel the people are there to help you. You should feel empowered. People, if they're a good server, they should be excited to talk about.
And she's embarrassed to ask, which I understand. So this is how I do it at a bar, because I always bartending is always I don't want to order the drinks that I don't know what's in them. I always say, like, I'm embarrassed to ask you this, but I don't know. Can you tell me? I really would love to know more.
Yes.
So I preface it. That way they sort of talk down to me a little bit, but not in a way that's condescending, in a way that I can understand.
Yes, they talk at your level.
Yeah, and I will say, if I order this drink and then I don't like it, like, can I give it back to you without you feeling offended?
Yeah.
And they're always like, yes, of course.
Next, Judy. Hi, Judy. Judy has a wedding anniversary coming up and wants to go to a restaurant with great food and service that isn't stuffy.
There is a lot of stuffy restaurants, and sometimes those aren't very fun.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to say, well, Jack's in Northeast, because if you go for your anniversary, they make you a little matchbook that says, like, Jason and Stephanie. It's kind of sweet. And it's like prime rib, walleye, trout, like, yeah, not super difficult.
Okay.
I also like this place in Mendota. It's called I Noni, and it is one of my favorite authentic Italian restaurants. And it is just like you would be in Italy, where they'll have the beautiful rosemary rubbed bistecca steak that's all sliced up.
So you just used a word that I don't know. Now I feel like Karen.
It's just a cut.
Okay.
It's just a cut of meat.
Yeah.
Delicious pastas there. It's nice inside it. Also, I think Butcher and Boar
is a good
not
one.
Fussy, and yet you get these giant hunks of meat and lots of great sides. Lastly, Zalo, which has been around for a very long time, but talk about exceptional service and a restaurant that has stood the test of time.
And not
it's on Nicollet Mall, no, and it's Italian and it's delicious.
Yeah. One more, Pamela. Hi, Pamela. I want dinner and then another place in the area for dessert. I want dessert, but not right after the meal. So it would be fun to have a duo night out. Yeah.
This is a big tip for me, and I always recommend this. This is just to go to the North Loop. You can go to the North Loop and you can eat at Demi, you can eat at Spoon and Stable, you can eat at Bar La Grassa, Bachelor Farmer. A lot of like very anniversary-worthy places that are a little bit special, a little bit higher end, but very delicious. And then you can walk to Edward's Dessert Kitchen and you can have just dessert and cocktails. You could also walk to the Hewing Hotel and just have like a fancy cocktail to finish out your night. Or go to Nolo and go over there and play darts in the basement and have some fancy desserts. There's a lot of places that are within walking distance that are really fun.
Yeah, can I add one more? We got to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to add one more to the not stuffy, but great Bar La Grassa.
Yes, didn't I say that?
No,
it's on my list.
Bar La Grassa is single-handedly one of my, I've never had a bad meal there.
And they always treat you really like well, and they give you great service. And you should have the lobster eggs there on toast.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's one of their favorite dishes.
She's fantastic too. Give it up for Stephanie Hansen, everybody. You can listen to Stephanie on The Weekly Dish every Saturday morning on My Talk 1071 and find her online at stephaniesdish.com. And for the next several weeks, Stephanie's filling in on my radio show as well. And she was really fired up today about Grammys and taking kids there. Anyway, still ahead, producer Ted heads to the Minneapolis Boat Show to help him find love. I'm not joking. We'll be right back. Stay with us, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, an estimated 38,000 people visited the Minneapolis Boat Show this weekend, getting a glimpse of the nearly 700 boats on hand. Everyone had their own reasons for going to the boat show. Producer Ted certainly had his. And that means, once again, it's time for America Loves Ted.
It's the middle of winter. Dating is a little rough these days, but I have the remedy right here at the Minneapolis Boat Show. All these boats, gonna bring in everyone, but really the ladies. And here to help me find my boat, Darren from the Minneapolis Boat Show. What do we have here?
We have everything related to the marine industry. You have everything from pontoon boats, personal watercraft, fishing boats, cruisers, stand-up paddleboards, docks, lifts. A lot of information on how to get involved in boating.
What kind of boat is really gonna wow the ladies?
There's a lot here. A lot of different boats that you could do it, but probably the towboat is what you're gonna be wanting to look at.
Oh, high-end boat. What's the price tag we're looking at?
You're looking at the Sea Ray SLX 400. It's about $680,000.
What about something cheaper?
Well, we can look at the stand-up paddleboards.
Oh. So what do we got here?
We have hard body stand-up paddleboards. So it's nice that you can put them on your roof racks so that you're able to go on the lakes. Great exercise doing stand-up paddleboards.
A little bit of a problem over here because I only see room for one. We need something a little bigger. What do we got here?
We got a nice Ranger aluminum boat. This is a great boat for somebody that's just looking at getting started into boating. It would be a great boat to fish the waters of Minnesota.
If you saw an Instagram picture with me on this boat, would you like it?
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But would you like it?
Does he look better standing next to the boat?
Okay.
Or just not standing next to the boat?
Well, you need to uncross your legs and look like you're looking at something. And then look back at the camera. There you go. That's better.
All right, Darren, what do we got?
We have a sports pontoon. It has everything that you'd be looking for to be on the water. You have a second level, you have a trampoline, and a fun water slide.
Have you ever seen a trampoline on a boat before?
I've never seen a trampoline on a boat before.
Pretend like you're a lady. I want to show you something. Come on my boat. You'd come on my boat. No. Well, Darren, this has been great, but I kind of want a boat that's just going to knock everyone's socks off. And by everyone, I mean the single ladies.
I think I can find one for you. Ted, this is it. The Sea Ray SLX 400.
The nicest boat at the boat show, is that correct?
It's the most expensive boat at the boat show.
Ooh, how expensive?
$680,000. Well, we have a nice helm down here where you are able to entertain and sleep. We have a nice sunroof, little bar area, little refrigerator, stereo system, little grill.
This boat basically has it all. Except there is one thing missing. It's missing Ted. Oh, does this thing have, oh, it's got a horn right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Oddly, Ted is still single. Oh, whatever, audience. He'll get a date now. And photographer Eric really is a gift from God. I'm just going to say. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us to wrap up the show. Back after this. Welcome back. Welcome back. You know, since Kendall has started on the show, it's been fun because I'm a different generation than her. So you've seen me go, oh, you don't know Charlie's Angel, all this stuff.
Yeah.
We now have intern Kenny on the show, who is now younger than you.
Yeah.
Who is now younger than you, so it's funny to have like a young off. You know what I mean? Of like, do you know who, like he didn't know who Jessica Simpson was.
I died.
And now Kendall knows how I feel when Kenny doesn't get your, Kenny, stand right here. I want people to see what you look. Give it up for Kenny, everybody. Waved up. Okay, can I just tell you, I didn't ask for the twirl, but he gave it to me anyway. I mean, that is, I needed that laugh, let me tell you. That's Kenny. Oh, that was the best moment of the day. We're gonna take a break. We'll be, okay, by the way, if you want tickets to the show, I don't even know what I'm saying. We'll be right back. Stay with us, everybody. Oh, God. That was great. Kenny. Well, that was an exciting commercial break. Right. You know, most of the show, the poor audience, you know, the first half of the show was just, well, us crying for an hour.
Yeah.
So I wanted to end on a little funny story that I told on the radio show involving my trip to Louisiana to see my mom. And obviously there were a lot of tears, but we had a couple funny moments as well. And you know, no matter what part of the country, everyone there's different, not dialects, but different you know, speech patterns and sayings like here, like you betcha. You know, they don't say that, yeah, pop or whatever. Well, in Louisiana or in the South, there are areas of the South where people don't say I have to go potty, I have to use the restroom.
Yeah.
My mom started saying TT, and it cracked me up.
Wait,
and
like
she would say I'm going to take the dog's TT, and it drove me nuts because I'm like, she raised me and we never said that, you know, like ever.
Not a thing, Mom.
But in Louisiana, and I was wondering where she picked it up from. The only other place I'd ever heard it is from the movie The Help. Viola Davis says it in The Help. Anyway, so my mom says it again various times during this trip. So my mom wanted like a little morning alone. So I wasted some time. I went to the Jacques Penney. I went to the J.C. Penney in Lake Charles to waste some time. And I'm walking through J.C. Penney. And mind you, I hadn't smiled in like 5 days. And I'm walking through, and all of a sudden I heard this woman from the sweater area speaking as loud as she humanly could. She's with her son, and I just hear her say, "Billy, you're going to have to look at sweaters by yourself because I gots to TT." I laughed so hard because I think I just needed the release too. I needed just to laugh. And she goes, "Billy, I gots to TT." And I just thought, okay, it's not just my mom that says TT, but yeah, anyway. Billy had to look for sweaters by himself because Mama has to TT. Tomorrow on the show, a Minnesota legend, Harvey McKay, joins us to talk about his book. Plus, producer Ted recaps The Bachelor. Again, I want to say on behalf of my beautiful mother, thank you for your kind messages and your love. I so appreciate it, and as does my mom. That's going to do it for us. Go out there and be yourself, everybody, because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. We'll see you tomorrow. I love you, Mom. I got to TT now.
This is Fox 9 News.